Remember that concept of ease. And then as you sit tall, let your shoulders draw up and back and lengthen up through the back of your neck. Let your eyes close and begin to tune into your breath, noticing how it's moving at this moment. Not adding effort here to make your breath anything different than it is. Just allow yourself that awareness of your breath. And then notice how by bringing that awareness to your breath shifts. And now having that intention of giving your breath more depth, increasing the space that your breath fills into. Purposely lengthen the inhale and the exhale. Then connect hands together at heart center and gently press your palms in. Lift your shoulders up and back, creating that extra length and space through your torso and opening through your shoulders. Take an inhale into the back of your neck. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Then softly opening your eyes, release your hands down, and again, gently draw your shoulders up and back. Take your arms open wide, palms facing forward. And then as you exhale, wrap left elbow over your right, holding on to shoulders here if that's comfortable. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height, and then engage your shoulder blades onto your back. Then inhale, open wide. And exhale, switch the cross, right elbow over your left. And again, elbows up to shoulder height. Engage your shoulder blades, lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale, open up. And exhale, this time as you cross your left arm over your right, you can take eagle arms here if that's in your practice, taking hold of palms, or come back to that hug. Wherever that is for you, elbows lift to shoulder height. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big, deep breath. Inhale, open up, and exhale, right elbow over left to come to a hug or to your eagle this time. Lift your elbows up and plug your shoulder blades in onto your back. Inhale, open up, and now turn your palms up, putting shoulder blades on your back. And then bend your elbows in toward your sides, coming to this gratitude place. A little pulsing here with your arms, allowing a little more expansion through your chest, a little engagement and release of shoulder blades. Again, lengthen the back of your neck. As we start to work through shoulders, if they're feeling pretty tight, then sometimes you want to dip your head down. So lengthen the back of your neck and notice what's going on for you. Good. And then reach your arms out long again, palms are up. And now this time, reach even further through your fingers. Think of making the tops of your shoulders go broad, and then plug in with your shoulder blades again. And then again, tops of shoulders broad, and then plug in. Tops of shoulders broad, and then plug in. And now release your arms down and just give a couple of rolls back with your shoulders, a little turn of your head. Ear to shoulder, whatever feels the best to you as you move through your shoulders. And then as you sit tall now, bring your hands behind your back to clasp. Press palms together, lift up and open through your shoulders, Take a big, deep breath here. And as you take your big breath, imagine space being created in between each rib. Good. Gently release your hands, switch the cross of your legs, coming to maybe the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones and remember, come to that easeful place. So maybe add props underneath your knees here. And now hands come together in front to clasp, pull forward with your arms, round back through your upper back, your chin tucks in. Take a couple of big breaths and move side to side through shoulders. And even think of exaggerating this motion. As you exaggerate it, you can notice one side of your back and then the other side of your back. Think of a little stretch through your lats. Then inhale, rise up tall. Shoulder blades draw onto your back. Take your right ear over to your right shoulder. Take a full big breath into the side of your neck. Keep your left shoulder blade on your back and tuck your chin down a little bit with that tilt of your head. Full deep breath. Then inhale back up to center and exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Put your right shoulder blade on your back, take a deep breath. Then tuck your chin down and take another full breath, keeping that engagement of your right shoulder blade. Then inhale back up to center, keep both shoulders back, tuck your chin down. Full big breath into the back of your neck. And if you want, you can add that little bit of shaking of your head no toward the ground. Then inhale, sit tall, shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, set yourself up with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Toes are tucked under behind you, giving a press with your toes into the ground, a press with your knees into the ground, creating a little tone up into your glutes. Now rotate elbow pits forward and push until you feel that expansion into your upper back. Now push both hands and feet as you lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose, and then pedal out, bending one knee at a time. And now walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take your feet wider than your hips to start off with. So they're out toward the edges of your mat or even all the way to the edges. Blocks for your hands if you would like. Take an inhale and lengthen partway, hands above your knees. Send your sitting bones up. Start to lift with your sitting bones enough to feel a little stretch through the back sides of your legs. And then exhale, fold over your legs, keeping your sitting bones lifted. Now with your hands either at the floor or your blocks, you're gonna pedal out gently with your legs, bending one knee at a time, just like you did in your down dog. And I want you to think about trying to start to keep sitting bones tilted up even as you make this movement. Heels planted the whole time, so the movement actually happens more from your hips and your low back than it does from lifting your heels. Right knee bends, then left knee bends. Inhale and lengthen part way, hands above your knees. Send your sitting bones up, extend your heart forward. Full deep breath. Then walk your hands up your legs, rising all the way up to stand. Walk your feet into inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes, fire them up, and then root them down. And now reach your arms out long again. This time palms are down. Plug in with your shoulder blades, and then wrap left elbow over your right for eagle or a hug, whichever feels the best on your shoulders. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take an inhale and lift your elbows even more, lifting up through your front ribs. Exhale, Little bend to your knees, tone your low belly and your low ribs. Inhale, lift your elbows up just a little bit higher, a little bit of a back bend here. And then come back up to center, release your arms, give your arms a little shake. Reach your arms out long and wrap right elbow over your left, eagle arms on the second side or a hug, whichever feels the best. Lift your elbows up and plug your shoulder blades in. Now a little bend to your knees, start to lift up and open through your heart. As you lift up and open through your heart, tone your low belly and your low ribs, but then let your rib cage lift. Take one more big breath, big lift through your chest, and then come all the way back up to center. Rotate palms forward, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. Let your fingertips step right foot back into your lunge. Take a big deep breath, send your heart forward and center off with your hips. If it's in your practice, you can keep your knee lifted or you can bring your back knee to the ground. Bring your hands up to your hips to rise. And as you center with your hips, think of that left glute wrapping down and under. That's the glute medius at work. Hands press into your hips, lengthen your sides, lift your chest, and now bring fists to your low back. And as you do so, press a little bit downward onto your low back to allow a little bit more length. Lift your chest up high, heart up high, hug your elbows back. Take a really big inhale and exhale, low belly, low ribs engage. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Step back to a downward facing dog pose. Take a big deep breath. Shift a little forward with shoulders, rotate elbow pits forward, and then shift back, keeping that rotation. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Use knees on the ground if you would like to. Stay rotated with your upper arm bones. Extend your chest and lower all the way down. Set your feet up, even walking your legs in a little bit, especially if you can feel that distance between them. Press tops of feet, knees, and engage your low belly. Press your hands down right by your rib cage and exhale to lift your low ribs. Inhale, shoulders lift. Chest lifts, rising as high as your body is ready for in your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog pose. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold over your legs. Fingertips plant. Step your left foot back into your lunge. Pause, take a moment to center your hips. Extend your chest and your heart, lengthening your spine. And then your choice, back knee up or down, bring your hands up to your hips to rise. Again, rewrap that right glute down and under, centering with your hips. And then bring fists to your low back. And even think of tops of glutes. And as you press down, lift your sides, lift your ribs, lift your chest. Start to hug back with your elbows. Engage your low belly and your low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest up a little bit higher. And exhale, hands come all the way down to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, shift a little forward to re-rotate your upper arm bones. And then shift back. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Knees up or down, your choice. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up and open as high as your body needs. Just avoid locking out your elbow joints. Avoid your shoulders forward and up. Take a big, deep breath. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Deep, full inhale. Long, deep exhale. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Press your hips back, your heart forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. And now we'll come to our eagle legs. And you're welcome to utilize a block on the outside of your standing foot if you want to, as something to put your other foot on. Left foot finds its balance right beside your block if you're using one. And then as you lift your right leg, lifting your knee up toward your chest, start to bend into your left knee and cross your thighs. You might touch your toes to the block on the outside of your left foot. You might squeeze in with the muscles of your legs and take your toes around the backside of your calf. Okay, so wherever that is for you, hug in with the muscles of your legs. And now, even as you hug, rotate your inner thighs in, back, and broad so you sit a little bit deeper. Then engage your glutes and engage your belly. Lift your chest. From this place, reach your arms out broad and wide. If you want, you can take a hug or eagle, but left arm crosses over your right to take your eagle arms or your hug. Lift your elbows up, draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big deep breath. Hug in with the muscles of your forearms and your thighs. Take one more deep breath. And inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, arms release, legs release. Second side, you can bring your right foot right beside a block if you want to, or you don't have to use a block. But same thing, we're gonna lift our left knee and bend into our right knee, cross the thighs. Now from this place, as you squeeze in with the muscles of your thighs, again, you can always pick your toes up. You can always wrap your calf with your toes, or you can keep them touching the block, okay? So now, as you reach your arms, plug in with your shoulder blades here, and then wrap. Right arm over your left. Take a hold of palms or take your hug, whichever feels the best. Then lift elbows up. Plug shoulder blades in. Now squeeze both thighs and forearms. But now move your inner thighs back. Settle a little bit deeper and hug glutes and low belly. Good. Inhale, rise all the way up. Release your arms, release your leg. Feet inner hip distance apart in parallel palms, turn forward. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. In your fold, your choice, you can keep your feet inner hip distance or wider. You have a tight low back or tight hips, wider is really nice. Keep that bend to your knees. And now your choice, you can hold on to opposite elbows, hang your head. You can let your arms hang in ragdoll. You can clasp your hands behind the back of your neck here if you want. Wherever that is for you, if it feels good to do a little bit of swaying, you're welcome to. Full deep breath. Then release your hands down and step all the way back, downward facing dog pose, and take a full breath. Inhale, come forward into a plank, knees on the ground if you want. Rotate elbow pits forward and push, extend. As you extend, tendency is to let your belly dip down. So keep it engaged and lifted. Take one more full breath right here. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. And now from this place, we'll take our locust variation. So arms back alongside your body, palms facing in, thumbs aimed down. And from here, root down with the tops of your feet and your knees. And now engage your low belly. Engage your low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest up, lift your shoulders up, hug in with the muscles of your legs, and on the next inhale, if you want to, you can lift your legs as well. Keep hugging in with your arms toward your sides and your legs in toward each other. Full deep breath. Plant your hands and push all the way back into a child's pose. And as you take this child's pose, if it feels good to you, you can always bring elbows up onto a prop in front of you. Hands together into your prayer position and settle your head. Settle as deeply as your body needs. But find a variation that works for your body this morning. Then inhale, gently bring yourself up to your seat and come all the way down to sitting bones. And now make sure you have one of your block-like props. And we're going to take this variation of forward fold that I've grown to really like. So your block out in front of you for your heels to come up to. And move your sitting bones, move them back and broad. And the intention here is for you to have something to push down into so that your knees will lift. So go ahead and push your heels down, let your knees lift, and then draw them back toward your sitting bones. They won't move because you're pushing them down. So this is that isometric movement concept. So push and pull back. With that, let your pelvis tilt forward. Press your fingertips down beside your hips and lift your chest, lift your sides. As you exhale, fold as deeply as your body is ready for. That might be reaching out for your feet or fingertips on the floor. Wherever that is, push down and draw your heels back. Belly tilts forward as your pelvis tilts. Big deep breath. And now inhale, gently rise back up. And walk your feet in, and you're going to take either half or full cow head legs. So if you want, you can take left leg underneath, left heel by your right hip, right leg over the top, right heel by your left hip. Or left leg can be out straight in front of you, if that's better for you today. You're welcome to put a blanket underneath your sitting bones if your low back is rounding back. But move your sitting bones back and then engage both feet, whether you're in full or half, okay? So your feet by your hips, pinky toe edge presses in so that your ankle stays lifted. Now press your fingertips down and lift your ribs up high, heart up high. And from this place, we're gonna take our eagle arms one more time, reach your arms, left elbow over your right. And if you would like, that can still be hugs, either way. Shoulder blades on your back. Take an inhale and lift up tall. Exhale, if hinging from your hips is in your practice, you might fold toward your leg. Maybe you wrap your elbows over your knee, maybe to your knee. Maybe you stay upright, depending on what your back body wants to do. So think all the way down at your sacrum, lifting it up and forward. Take one more big breath. And then gently release your arms, uncross your legs, and take the other side. Oops, wrong way. Right leg under your left leg over the top, or that right leg can be extended straight out in front of you for half, okay? So press pinky toe edges down on both feet. If you have both legs crossed, or just engage both feet and press. Move sitting bones. Lift your sides, reach your arms, and wrap. Right elbow over your left. Lift your elbows up and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Take a big deep breath here. Maybe you stay upright. Maybe with a long spine, you fold toward your knee. You can always touch your elbow down or even reach it to the other side for a little deeper fold. But notice what's happening in your back body. You start to fold and your low back is rounding back, and come upright. And then gently release your arms, release your legs. And we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. Make sure you can reach your props. Knees hug in toward your chest, rock a little side to side. And then open knees up, feet are flexed, hands are on the insides of your knees. And then move your knees a little bit forward and back. Finding that movement through the hip socket and also finding that tilt forward and back of your pelvis. And now feet come together into your butterfly. You just have shifted the position of the floor here. So if you would like, you can hold on to your feet with your hands, or you can bring your feet all the way down to the ground. That's fine too. If you're holding on to your feet with your hands, you're opening your knees up as much as your body is ready for and engaging your feet. And then pivoting. So right knee forward, left knee back, left knee forward, right knee back. As you take that a few times, you just get to give your sacrum a little bit of gentle movement here. And now setting footprints on the ground. Pick what would feel the best to your body to settle into a Shavasana. Let your body settle into the ground and to let the work you've done in your body settle in. So feel free to add the prop underneath your legs or the blanket underneath your neck or over your pelvis and hips. Settling yourself into the most comfortable releasing pose you can. Take some deep breaths. Scan through your body and notice. Bring some awareness back to your breath. Gently begin to move through fingers and toes. As you're ready to, bend your knees and roll to one side. Press into the ground and bring yourself back upright into your comfortable seat. Connect palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And with your eyes closed, fill up completely with breath. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.